and welcome to this special video interview. I'm Andy Fulmer, General Manager of JPCL and Paint Square, and I am pleased to be here today with Davies Hood, President of Induron Coatings, as we talk about their vision for the future. Davies, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, Andy. Looking forward
That's
to it.
wonderful. Now, in thinking about vision for the future, specifically, when you think about your future in the protective and marine coatings industry, what are some of your hopes and expectations for Induron?
Well, Induron is a 75-year-old third generation family business, and something that I have only recently begun saying is I would think it would be a great honor to me personally to have a fourth generation own and run this company. I think that would be really cool for Induron's future. The other thing that I think would be really cool to continue forward is our nation's and honestly the world's focus on infrastructure. There's a lot of infrastructure in our country that is aging. I think that's true throughout the world. That's mainly what Induron focuses on. We are creating coatings that extend the useful life of valuable infrastructure. And I think a lot of the conversation recently has been on the recent infrastructure bill, and I think that's just scratching the surface as to what the true needs are.
Great. Now, in talking about infrastructure, I know that you focus on some specific niches in particular. What is the outlook for the future growth of your company?
I am very optimistic. We are a small player in a pond full of very large companies. We compete with publicly traded international competitors, and to do that, we have to focus on specific niches. The niches that Induron focuses on currently are ductile iron sewer pipe, water, wastewater treatment facilities and storage, and power transmission and distribution. And going back to my last answer, those infrastructure, taking care of that infrastructure is critical, and will be critical for the rest of my professional career. And so I'm pretty enthusiastic about our opportunities moving forward. The needs in those niches.
Absolutely, that's a critical need, and it's great that companies like you are there to service that. Now, what changes have you seen and have implemented over time with regards to the way that Induron communicates, interacts with, and serves the market?
Well, it's crazy, Andy. As long as I've been in the business, and personally, I've been in the coatings business 25 years. As long as I've been in the business, those of us in the coatings manufacturing and formulating business have always had to adjust because of tightening environmental regulations. And what's funny about that is when I got into the business in the late 90s, my dad was complaining about the changes that had been occurring ever since he got in the coatings business in the late 1960s. And what I think is funny is my grandfather probably complained about the exact same thing in the late 60s about when he got in the paint business in the 1940s. So I say that we are very used to change and tightening regulation, and that's just a fact of life. Something that has occurred in the last couple of years as a result of COVID and or the supply chain issues are unique challenges about inflation and the ability to get key raw materials. And what we are trying to do at Induron is not only be honest with our customers, which I think is critical. It's one of our core values. But I think we have to be open about what opportunities we can take advantage of and where we have to say no. And if we can say no at a responsible time in a respectful way, we can set ourselves up for future success by not hurting projects that we say yes to that we can't provide paint on. So it's a communication conundrum when you don't know when you're going to get a raw material. But it's something I think we're doing very good at here at Durham.
Certainly. Can you talk a little bit more about the way that regulations may go moving forward and create additional future challenges? Do you certainly see them continuing to get more stringent and more specific as the years go on?
Definitely so. Definitely so. We've never seen a loosening of any environmental restriction in the coatings business. It's just how far can they turn the screws? And most recently, we've noticed a different screw being tightened. We do a lot of work in the water and wastewater business, and beginning in 2023, there are some significant changes to the NSF Standard 61 regulation that involves coatings that come in contact with potable water. Um, different volatiles are being measured, and in the extractable form coming out of a cured film, but it's a well thought out. It's based on a Canadian standard, NSF 600. But it's a different change that we are prepared here at Induron to deal with, but it is because of different decisions we made as long as a decade ago to formulate without certain materials that include hazardous air pollutants. So being for NSF 600 is something that we are ready to go with our existing line of epoxies. But that's just the latest change of something. I think there will be another one in 2023 and another one in 2025. It's just part of what makes the coatings business fun, honestly.
Sure, absolutely. Now, what else would you like the JPCL audience to know about Induron's vision for the future?
Well, our company has a history of innovative products, and we try to develop products that are user friendly and longer lasting. We try to do everything per the rules and regulations related to environmental impact, but one of my thoughts is if we make a product that lasts longer, so you have to repaint less over the life of a structure, and the structures I'm talking about are critical infrastructure that our country runs on. That is a very environmentally responsible thing to do. So that's sort of our philosophy. But we do have that history of innovation, and what I'm talking about is sort of gold standard for lining ductile iron pipes. So there's a product we manufacture called Protecto 401 that we use that similar technology in other products that we use throughout the water and wastewater business. So we're exhibiting a willingness to change, but a willingness to change off of proven technology. So that's sort of my crystal ball gazing for the for this afternoon.
Well, thank you so much for sharing those thoughts. Congratulations on 75 years and three generations, and we also certainly look forward to a fourth and more from family-run businesses like Induron. This wraps up our edition of our Vision for the Future video series. Thanks to Davies Hood and Induron for sharing your thoughts today. And you can find out more about Induron coatings at www.induron.com. For JPCL and Paint Square, I'm Andy Fulmer. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.